gonna see if we can get this frame together. This is gonna be the start of the build, I guess, of the 130 drone that I'm gonna build. Here's all my parts. You've got a top piece, bottom piece, the very, very bottom piece, 4 arms and 2 camera pieces, 4 long screws, 4 short screws, 4 standoffs. Okay, I already checked just a minute ago. I thought the camera was rolling, but it wasn't. And these little pieces here, they fit into a groove right here, and they wouldn't go. This is only about a $15 frame. Pretty cheap. So you can't expect perfection. Well, what it was, it'll go now, see, but it wouldn't go before. What it was that the little pieces here wouldn't fit in the groove. So what I did, I just took a file, laid it like that, the edge of it, and just run it back and forth 2 or 3 times. It didn't take much at all, just to make the ends go. And I've got the picture pulled up on Banggood, looking at it, so I know how to put it together because it didn't come with no instructions. And from looking at the picture, this piece here has a hole for you to mount the camera. Both of them do. And the hole, according to the picture on their webpage, is supposed to be right dead center of this piece, and it's not. Both of them are in the same place, but they're way off to one side. So I'm going to aim them toward the front. Hopefully it'll give me a little more room to tilt my camera. Maybe a good thing that they're not actually in the center. Alright. Let's see if we can get her together. Oh, and guys, by the way, this is that new camera. This is the new JVC camcorder that I got from MD95 TSI. I thought I'd try it out on this to see. I got it overhead. It's got a pretty good zoom on it. Let me show you. I hope this will work. Problem is, when you zoom way in so y'all can get a good picture of the shot, and it's got look like a pretty decent autofocus on it. But the problem is, if I zoom in that much, I move things around, and I can't keep things in the shot. It's just too damn hard to film. I hate filming. I want to stick a camera on my drone and film that and be done with it. I hate all this other crap that goes along with it. Alright, I know this is the very, very bottom piece, so I think we take our 4 screws and stick them through here. Likens to so. Alright. Now we stick an arm on each one. Come on now. Now you got to get these lined up perfectly, because once you got all the screws in, them arms will not twist or move at all. Now, see, all the screws are in, and it will not move. Now let's see, the bottom plate is this one, and it don't really matter because the frame is a perfect X, so we're going to do it like this. Now we got to put our standoffs on. Well, I'll say one thing about this joker. You shouldn't break the arms on it. I mean, they're thin. I mean, they're narrow, you know, narrow this way. But man, they're thick as crap this way. I mean, that's got to be some of the thickest arms I've ever seen. I tell you what, let me get my calipers and we'll just take a look and see. For that size frame, that is some thick arms. Ain't no way I could ever get it fast enough to break it, I don't believe. .03 millimeters thick. I guess it's not really that big. It just looks thick because it's so small. But I don't think I'll ever break that. All right, now these little pieces go right in here. I just mainly want to get the frame together, see what it's going to look like, guys. And then your top plate just sits right on top. And then the shorter screws. And that's it, guys. Nothing to it. I like it. It is a True X. I like the way a True X flies. And it's very, very small. You see it's in the palm of my hand here. And it's I like it. It's kind of tall this way, so I like that. I can get a lot in there because I like to, time you get your receiver on top and your buzzer and all that, you need a little more room, so this is great. I like that it's flat on top. Alright guys, I pulled the top back off the off of there, and so we can start working on it. First thing we got to do is we got to solder this wire here onto the board. So I'm going to do that and I'll come back to you. Okay guys, I've got the power cord hooked up to it now. So it goes on here like it's to so. Basically, well, I got it upside down. It goes like that. It goes on there like that. And this one will go on top of it, and the cord there will hook in between them, between the two plugs. Anyway, I don't know guys, this is going to be hard as crap to try to film and to show you. I wanted to show you step by very step, but that's just going to be next to impossible without somebody helping me do this, and I don't have anybody. Alright guys, I've set the ESC board onto the standoffs, and then I screwed my other little set of standoffs, these right here, on top to hold it down. And like I told you, I plugged the main flat board into the ESC board. So it's pretty simple. I mean, you just basically plug these two up, and then that one is set right there on top of the other one, and you just tuck the wire underneath. Then you put your motors on, and the motors wire up to the ESCs. And the motors is what I'm fixing to put on next, so I'll get back with you when I got those on. There ain't no way in hell that little tiny 1104 motor there is going to fit on this frame. I mean, it's supposed to fit, but they got their hole pattern so far off it ain't even funny. It even says on the website that it takes a 1104 motor, not a 1806. Okay guys, I'm back. Maybe I've got this camera situation figured out here now to where I can film easier and have my hands free. I put it back on the overhead thing, but I lowered it down real low, and I'm using that little JVC camcorder. Seems to work really well for this sort of thing. I've got my motors figured out on my frame, finally. Let me see if I can zoom in on it here and show you what I've did. I know I kind of messed them up a little bit, but you can see I had to Dremel out the hole a little bit with the Dremel, and I did it on this one too. This one I didn't cut all the way through. I really didn't want to have to do this to them, because if you see, it don't leave a lot right in here on each side, especially this one that I cut all the way through. And I did the other two the same way. I cut them through accidentally because it'll get away from you. And it leaves it real weak right here. But I mean, still, the darn thing's pretty thick, so it should be alright. No more than this thing going away in these little tiny motors. But you can see I've got these motors mounted. I've only used 2 screws, so, but I shouldn't have any trouble. I mean, they're on there pretty good. So, anyhow, let's see if I can show you what I used. I used a little Dremel tool like this, a little bit. Put in a Dremel. Alright guys, let's see, where was I at here? Alright, I think I done made where I put the frame together. Showed you how that went together. Let me zoom back out a little bit. And the 2 boards, the flight controller and the ESC board, I mean, it just comes with a plug. It's an F3 flat board. It just comes with a plug that you plug in between them, and that wire gets stuck right up and under here when you put it all together. I put my standoffs on it. I had to take my frame back apart. I put my standoffs on it, and I mounted my ESC board on there, and then I put my other standoffs, so now this board will go right on top. Right now I'm working on the motors, so let me go ahead and mount the other 2 motors up, and then I'll come back to it. Okay guys, now I'm going to start wiring my motors. I got my motors all mounted, so I'm going to start wiring, soldering the motor wires to the ESCs. I'm just going to wire them all up straight. Probably won't be right, and I'll end up having to swap a couple of them most likely. If it was running a new version of Betaflight, like 3.2 or above, I could just do it in Betaflight, and I could wire them up any way I wanted to. But I'm pretty sure this board here is running 3.1. Matter of fact, I know it is 3.1 something, so you have to change your wires to get the rotation of your motor right. But that's not a big deal. Alright guys, them's on there pretty good. This is just going to be temporary anyway, because like I say, most of them have to be changed, and at the very end I'll come back and probably put a little dab of solder right on the top of all of them. So I'm just going to cut it right here and go ahead and do the rest of them. Ain't no point in me filming all of it. Alright guys, I've got all the motors wired up to the ESCs now. And no particular order. I mean, I just wired them all up straight, from the outside one to the first one here, and the middle one to the next one, and then the outside one on the side of the motor to that one. And like I say, a couple of them will probably be right, and a couple of them will probably have to have a couple of wires that's got to be swapped. That's why I've left them out here like this. As you can see though, they're just long enough, I do believe, that what I'm going to try to do is, when I get done and make sure they're all wired up right, I'm going to unscrew the standoff, each one of these standoffs one at a time, set it right here like this, and then push the wires over and around that, and then screw my standoff back on, and then put me a little tape around the leg, and it'll all be around it like this down the arm. So that's pretty slick. They made them just about the right length. Alright, let's see what else we got to do here. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to lay this over like this and bend this down, and then bend this back like this to where that'll be underneath, to where our wire will be under there like that, you see. Okay, and then we got to push it down on the standoff. Likens to so. Okay, and you can see how the wires go now. That way they're all tucked under there nicely. That's the way you're supposed to do it. Alright, now we've got to put our little nuts on to hold the board down. Okay guys, now we're fixing to put this little buzzer light on here. I don't have the light hooked up. I don't like a light at all on none of my quads. All it does is run your battery down. I never fly at night, so all I need is the beeper. But I like having it just in case if I ever want to wire it up. And but it just causes more of a drain on your battery. Beeper's all you really need if you're just gonna fly close like I do. And I like the way this one's shaped and made. If you see, it will set down right over the wires there, and it'll just strap right to that perfectly. It'd be nice. It's perfect place. So that's what we're finna do next, because I'm going to end up having to take these standoffs loose so I can put route my motor wires back around them. So let's bring this up. I'll tell you what I can do. I can go ahead and put another one on it. Redo them later. Alright, that's close enough. We'll leave it till we can slip it off there. Now then, let me see if I can show y'all where you wire this to. Let me find the zoom. That's probably about as big as I'm going to be able to get it, guys. Alright. Right here. You got a pin right there and a pin right there. Alright, that's buzzer plus. And that one there is buzzer minus. So you put your red wire here, your minus wire here. Solder them in place. And then when you flip a switch and you have it set right, your buzzer will go off. Now I'm going to cut those and solder that into place. Okay guys, I've got the buzzer soldered up there to the right place. All these little pieces of wire like this you have left, guys, after you cut it off, like off your beeper or whatever, you know, save that stuff, because it's silicone wire, and that's something you want to hang on to, because that's some of the best wire you can use. Okay guys, it's pretty much done except for the camera, the VTX, and the receiver. Okay, the receiver, your S bus is going to go here. Alright, and your positive for your receiver will go here, and your negative will go here if you're running like a FrSky. Alright, and for the VTX, you got negative here and positive here, and this will be for the VTX, and that'll power the VTX, and then you can power the camera from the VTX. Now this also has a video in and a video out if you want OSD. I won't be using that. Only reason I would want OSD in the first place, I mean, I'm putting a full range receiver in it, so I won't never fly it far enough that I'm going to lose connection with it, I don't think. And the battery is the only thing I'd want OSD for. To see my battery voltage, and to be honest with you, I just fly it till it quits and then recharge it. So far I've had good luck. These copters don't pull a lot of amps, so your battery usually when the copter gets to where it won't fly no more, I mean your battery's not too hot. But the camera that I'm going to be putting in this one also has OSD, so if I decide to hook it up, I'll just use that OSD. It'll be a lot easier because you just got one wire to hook up there just for your battery voltage, and that's all we really want. So we'll go across that bridge when we come to it, but I'm still missing some parts. This is about as far as I can go, so this will be the first part of the build video. As soon as I get the rest of the parts in, we'll make another part to this video and finish it up. I'm going to be putting a 200 milliwatt transmitter in here, and the Foxeer Arrow CCD camera, and a XM Plus full range receiver. Anyway, we'll go from there when we get to it.